No matter how many death threats you send my fiance.
And you people never stopped.
I've been loving Melanie for years, but this is just impossible to defend.
Are you a fan or were a fan of Melanie Martinez? Well, if so, you probably have heard of a few of her allegations. Yes, her serious allegations. Well, in the last video, I went through some and uncovered some and let the audience decide in the end what they really thought and if they supported Melanie. The video had about 10 allegations and it lasted 30 minutes, so I uncovered a lot, but I didn't go through every single one. And it turns out there are a lot more bad ones out there that we're gonna go over in this video.
I can't understand how people still support Melanie Martinez.
People at your school think I called Melanie Martinez a flop.
The Melanie Martinez coloring book is absolutely disgusting.
There are some pretty disturbing ones in here, and remember that they are allegations, they're not facts. Kind of same with the last video, I won't give my actual opinion on who I believe in this situation because it's someone's word against another's, and I feel like my opinion shouldn't influence you. You should look at the different things I give you, and you should make up your own mind. I can't change that, and I shouldn't influence that. You should make it up for yourself. So I will try to remain unbiased as possible. We are simply going over the allegations I found on TikTok, and I feel like we need to discuss as a whole, add them all together, and decide at the end if you, the audience, wants to still support Melanie Martinez. As always, I expect a lot of discussion in the comments. I know there's going to be a lot of comments under this video, same as last one. Please remain respectful. If you're a Melanie Martinez fan or you absolutely hate Melanie Martinez, remember, just criticize, have a discussion. Do not just be awful to everyone. Please remain respectful. With that, let's get into this video and all of the disgusting stuff we're going to be discussing. But first, I have a serious update on Mustafa and his family. You know, the family that we've been supporting through these oppressive times. Mustafa wanted me to deliver you this specific message. Last video, some of you guys started a pray chain where you started praying for Mustafa, and there's this whole chain of people, and he noticed that and really appreciated it. He wanted to let you all know that he's praying for all of you, his family, and overall, he's just so thankful for you guys because you're his main support right now through this hard time for his two daughters. Remember, any donation makes a difference, and if you can't donate, use your power for good. Spread the message on your social media, friends and family, or literally anyone. Spread the message in general. That can help so much. Remember, you can do good in this world, and this is one way you can do good. With that, let's get back into the video. We obviously have a lot of heavy stuff to discuss, but first I want to start off with something that isn't really an allegation, but it is kind of a sad situation. A lot of you have probably heard by Leah Kate by now. She's like another version of Olivia Rodrigo, but a more hated version. She just kind of makes that kind of music, pop music, and it's not really great. I'm not a fan of hers, just like I'm not really a fan of Melanie Martinez, but I don't really care if you like her, like that's your thing. Her songs are catchy. She's blown up on TikTok a few times. Well, not recently, about a year ago, she was live streaming, and all she did was read off Melanie Flopinez because someone commented that in her chat. That's literally all she did was read that. Well, that was a huge mistake on her part.
Melanie Flopinez.
Well, Melanie's fan base quickly got a hold of this clip somehow, and they decided to make edits of her. One of the edits of her got millions of likes, and it was just straight on hating on her, calling her flop, showing clips of Leah's concerts and people making fun of her there. It was this whole thing. She got tons and tons of hate. Her comments were all Melanie fans hating on her, and I can imagine what her DMs look like. It got so bad that her own brother was talking about how people at her school hated her because of what she said about Melanie Martinez. So she had to even release a TikTok explaining all she did was read her chat. That's all she did.
People at my school hate you because you said Melanie Martinez.
People at your school think I called Melanie Martinez a flop?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know that's not true, right?
Yeah, it's fake.
It's fake. What really happened is somebody on my Instagram live commented Melanie Flopinez, and I was like, Melanie Flopinez, what is that?
And I know her music a lot of you don't like, but that's not the point. Leah Kate's music isn't the point. The point is the fan base will literally attack anyone who, even says Melanie's name in a way they don't like. She legit did nothing. She read the chat in a way they didn't like it, and they decided to make, the harassment she got for this was insane. I remember that was all on my For You page a year ago. The endless harassment this fan base has caused random people is just insane to me. Another example of her fan base just blatantly harassing people is BradTasteinMusic.
Dear Melanie Martinez stans, specifically stan Twitter accounts. You're right, I will probably never be as successful as Melanie Martinez, but no matter how many texts you send my fiance, No matter how many times you spam and create images of me and her and do all this awful
Don't worry, we'll get into the allegations soon. I just want to focus on these two examples because it just shows the insanity that some of her fans, like, the ways they will go to destroy people's lives that critique her. BradTasteinMusic, like, is literally a music critique.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And people had no problem with this album?
And he was very, very strict. And he was a little rude, I'll give him that. Like, I'll give the fans that. But it didn't make an excuse for the amount of harassment he got for making this video. And the toxicity of the fandom is just infamous. It's talked about on TikTok all the time now. I see a lot of videos on it. And I can believe it now because the amount of people that have literally just, like, made the wrong move, that includes Melanie, have gotten, like, an insane amount of hate. Like, 1.5 million likes on a video where she literally just reads off the name Melanie Felininos or something.
So this is Melanie Martinez, and this is Madeleine Carina. Madeleine used to be Melanie's makeup artist for Cry Baby. Some days after the Timothy allegations, someone asked Madeleine what she thought of it since she was close with Melanie. She gave a response that was shocking.
So basically, a second victim has come forward and made a statement, and like Timothy, she's saying that she has been kind of like, she didn't consent or she was pushed to the edge to do something with Melanie that she simply wasn't comfortable with. And that's generating more discussion on TikTok. A lot more people are starting to believe Timothy because of that. Timothy has even come out with some videos saying that she's gotten more support recently than she's ever gotten like the last 8 years.
The Melanie Martinez coloring book is absolutely disgusting, and if you're defending it, I am severely judging you. There's only one kind of group of people that would be interested in coloring pictures depicting children having objects shoved into their mouth.
And here comes another allegation. So recently, or well, not recently, but a while ago, Melanie released a coloring book and she had like children because, you know, her album was Cry Baby, and some of them were like they were in positions and stuff that a lot of people felt like it was kind of wrong, to put it quite plainly. I'm not going to show any of them because I know that YouTube won't like it, but it was basically just kids in ways that a lot of people did not see appropriate. And she got called out for it a lot, but her fans made sure to defend her against this, saying that the people making these claims were the weird ones. I saw a lot of videos saying that these people were the weird ones. There were even edits against people making these videos, as usual. Melanie fans do love to use edits for some reason to like shame people who criticize Melanie.
Taking a bubble bath and looking uncomfortable and scared at the same time. And this is just further proof that even women can be pressed. Because I have some questions. Why did Melanie Martinez think this is cute and funny? Why is this like her whole brand is like sizing children? And I've never been a Melanie Martinez fan. I couldn't even tell you one song of hers. All I know of her is everything bad that I see in the media, and every single time I see something about her in the media, it has to do with essay allegations or I'm seeing drawings of children.
Melanie has been criticized many different times because she does not steer away from topics that are very, very serious. I have seen a lot of people criticize her specifically because she'll like make songs like Tag You're It about but they'll be saying it's like a fetishization. It's not like she's not spreading awareness. She's like making up the situation in her head, and that's like glamorizing the situation, basically.
Regardless, whether or not you believe the victim, you do not need to be going into their comment section or making accounts just to specifically harass them, because if they're actually a victim and you're in their comments like telling them, oh, I don't believe you, or like writing even worse stuff, imagine how that makes them feel.
You know, when you're a kid and you just have this like delusional view of the world that everything works out perfectly, everyone has a happy ending, that kind of stuff. I believe that you always get justice in these type of situations, and you always believe the victim. That's something that I just thought as a kid. Like, if someone's a victim of something, everyone believes them. But the things that changed my mind was specifically the whole Melanie situation, because I realized that someone could come out with a statement and there's no proof against what they say, but of course there isn't really much proof to prove what they're saying, and people will decide that they're going to value the celebrity over because they make better music. That's a justification I've seen a ton of Melanie fans make. Countless edits and videos on TikTok saying, comparing the music. They're like, oh, you think Melanie's bad? Look at Timothy, and then play one of her songs. So in like your logic, if you're a worse singer, it's okay for you to be SA'd. You're in the wrong then? Like, the logic is just so flawed. I'm not saying Timothy is for sure not lying, but what I'm saying is kind of what this girl said here. She put it in pretty good words. If Timothy is a victim, which of course is possible, it's always possible, then you are literally harassing a victim of SA, like, because you like celebrity. The chance that she is which I'm not going to give my opinion whether I think she is or not, because that won't change yours, but if on the circumstance she is, like, would you not feel guilty for harassing her and writing these evil things in her comment sections?
Do Melanie Martinez fans still defend her after Where Do Babies Come From? Because in that song, it literally says, comes from girls who want to grow up too fast. Then later in the song, it says boys taking things they don't own. And it makes it very obvious the parents are talking about each other in the song. You're literally shaming a woman.
Yes, there's more situations, and misogyny is one thing that she's been accused of a lot of times, specifically because of this song and another one where she sings about taking a basic B man. She talks about taking someone's man and like shaming the girl, and a lot of people said that was misogynistic, and I feel like a lot of songwriters have the same kind of accusation. Taylor Swift, too, I remember, had to change her lyrics because she was shaming this girl, SLUT, shaming this girl. So this has been a problem with a lot of people. So overall, I feel like a lot of artists have done this in the past, which doesn't justify it, but like this is just something that I've heard a lot on TikTok. Melanie has also been criticized for her Million Men song. I wouldn't recommend looking it up. It's a serious, I can't even say it on YouTube because there's no way this video is gonna get like not taken down if I do. But a lot of people have been saying that song was just not a good thing for her to write. If you want, you can listen to it. Just look it up, 1 Million Men by Melanie Martinez. But it is a pretty sad and disturbing song. So I can't convince you. You're going to have to listen to it and make up your mind if that's appropriate. If she was using that for some kind of other thing that she shouldn't have been using it for. But once again, I can't really go into depth because YouTube will be really, really mad at me.
Spiderweb today, yeah.
Woo! Party.
Ow.
Ow.
Ow. No, it's fine. Ow. No, it's not.
In there.
It's been about 2 years since Melanie's released Portals, and a lot of controversies have erupted since then. Some are small ones, like people saying she's too cringe now, and her change to this monster thing is just too cringe, and they don't like her, she fell off now. Those are the small controversies and the small amount of hate she's been receiving. The bigger ones are a bit more disturbing.
A lot of her music and lyrics have kind of innuendos in it, and also plays on obviously childlike themes like milk and cookies, cake, carousel, and she explains a lot that she writes childlike themes with adult scenarios.
This video credit goes to Angel Burkia. So she is expressing an opinion a lot of people think about Melanie. They don't like the way she depicts children because, as she just said here, Melanie likes to use children to depict adult events, serious things, disturbing things, and a lot of people see that as some sort of thing that just isn't appropriate. And after Portals, this kind of criticism became more acceptable because a lot of fans were already angered by the album. They didn't like it. It was very, very unpopular for a lot of the fans. And don't come in my comment section if you're a fan and give me a long rant about how you liked it. I know a lot of you liked it, but there were a lot that didn't. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Give me a whole paragraph and make sure to explain why I'm a horrible person in the worst commentary channel of all time. By the way, I literally got that comment on my last video. So to whoever told me I'm the worst commentary channel ever, thank you. That just made my day. Anyway, I can see where people are going with this. Like, I can see everyone's perspective, but this kind of criticism became a lot more acceptable after the Portals album because it was unpopular for a lot of fans because it was such a drastic change. She went from dressing up as like this schoolgirl and making songs about that to like turning into this like fairy thing. It was just so different and a lot of fans didn't appreciate it. It was scary, it was weird, and a lot of fans liked it, but a lot of fans didn't.
I feel like, and a lot of people feel like, should not go together at all. And even
I know I said I wouldn't be biased, and by that I meant I won't give you what my opinion on the essay allegations and all of that is because you have to make that up for yourself. I don't want to influence you. I know I probably won't, but I don't want to. And now's a place to like discuss it for yourselves, not to just have me give my blatant opinion. I want the focus to be you guys working out in the comments and not just me and everyone coming for me with their thoughts. But in this situation, I do agree. And this doesn't impact because, once again, I don't listen to her music and I don't actually care about Melanie. But I kind of agree because I'm not saying Melanie meant it in a bad way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying she's this creep. But it just isn't the greatest idea to combine childlike things with adult like that type of stuff because it could go to the wrong people, if you know what I mean. So once again, I'm not saying that Melanie meant this in a bad way. She could have meant it in a completely innocent way. I don't know her personally. I don't know her, so obviously I can't say for myself. I don't know what she meant it by, but it could go to the wrong people and it could send the wrong message. So that's all I'm saying. So that's just my opinion. If you disagree, you disagree.
If you look at her very first kind of original music, she has this one song called A Million Men, which is something that a lot of people bring up. And she said it is about her watching a documentary on child. So she wanted to write a song about it.
And it's really, it's a serious topic, so I hope you guys like it.
I already promised you earlier in the video, I'm not going to show you it. It is kind of disturbing, but you can look it up for yourself and watch it, but viewer discretion is advised. It is on a very serious topic, and it is pretty heartbreaking. And this is just another example of, I don't know if Melanie meant it in a bad way, but it could totally be taken in the wrong way, if you know what I mean. So it depends. yeah, I don't even feel like I should give my opinion on this, but it's one of those things where I don't even know if she meant it in a bad way, but it kind of came out as a bad way, if that makes sense.
I personally didn't see anything wrong with it at the time. I know a lot of people find it weird that she's like writing about these kind of things that she hasn't even experienced herself. But also I'm like kind of like storytelling, or like even like in movies, like a lot of things aren't real and they're a fictional story, but about like real topics that happen. So I'm kind of leaning over towards that end with that song in particular. But other things that she does, like training wheels, the lyrics are pretty explicit. And all of this is to say that Crybaby is a child.
She was pretty young when she made this album, and I'm not defending her or coming to her defense or throwing stones at her, but what I'm really trying to say here is that all of this really depends on if she meant it in a bad way. Because sometimes maybe she just thought, oh, I want a theme for my album. Oh, I'll do like a baby, because then I can do special titles for each one. You know, I can name them each things that relate to. It could have just been a theme thing that she didn't think through too much, but it could have been in a really, really bad way. At the end of the day, for my personal opinion, I would have to know if she knew or not, and I just don't know, and I don't think we can ever really know. So I feel like it's kind of up to you as the viewer to decide if this was really appropriate or not. Because again, I feel like if I give my opinion, it's going to give away my view on everything.
And this is just further proof that even women can be, because I have some questions. Why did Melanie Martinez think this is cute and funny? Why is this like her whole brand is like pleasing children?
I'm really hoping that she was just trying to come up with a theme and so she could like have titles for her songs, because if not, this is really sad and disturbing and disgusting, and there's no excuse if she knew what she was doing. But again, I don't even know what to say about this. Let's move on to the next drama shortly after I show you this clip.
And it's genuinely so disgusting to me that so many people are defending this, because I have to know, why do you want to draw a picture of a child in a bathtub getting a bar of soap shoved into their mouth?
While doing some research for this video, I came across an edit of this girl by Melanie fans saying she was the weirdo. It was an edit where she was like talking and then it was like Melanie's art flashing, you know the way an edit works, and all the comments were saying this girl's the weirdo. And I feel like this is one of those examples of, I don't know if she is the weirdo in this situation. It's kind of like someone saying, wear your seatbelt or you're gonna crash. I saw this on TikTok. I stole it from TikTok. And then you look at them and you say, you want to imagine me getting hit by a train, you absolute weirdo? It's one of those situations where, is it really that weird to be weirded out? Because the lyrics are very, very adult-like, and I don't blame you on your opinion on this. Like, I don't blame you if you find it weird, because again, I don't think you're the weirdo. These lyrics are very adult-like, and they deserve to be criticized, and they deserve to be examined. You shouldn't automatically be deemed as this weirdo for ever questioning Melanie's lyrics, like in Melanie's message. Like, you're allowed to do that with all artists, and that's just kind of a weird way to defend your favorite artist. I just hate that argument so much because I see it so much, especially with kids online. People will be like, why are you making these weird images with your kids? Like, why you seem to be like, you know, whatting your kid? And then their response will be, why are you thinking of my kid that way? Like, it's an argument I hear from the wrong people. Let's just say that. It's just not a good argument at the end of the day. It's okay to fear for the safety of someone. It's okay to question something, like the true moral value of it. It's okay to question this stuff without you being the weirdo.
If Melanie was there, flesh and blood, living and breathing, absolutely, charge whatever you want. But I feel like $400, especially because you can literally do this at home for free.
Credit goes to Haley. Thank you, Haley. She made multiple videos on the Melanie situation where Melanie people accused her of scamming her fans. Accused. Remember, it's accused. Please don't sue me, Melanie. Please don't sue me, somehow Melanie's fans, because I feel like they would somehow find a way to sue me. So to summarize, Melanie basically charged $400 for a meet and greet, but you met like an AI image of her. You gotta take photos with an AI image of her. And obviously that's a little bit different than meeting the actual Melanie. And so a lot of fans are calling her out. A lot of fans that went to this were very disappointed, and there were other stuff too, but they said that was also a scam, and overall people were just really mad about the situation. But there were some defenses that we're going to be going over soon, but let's watch another clip.
Melanie Martinez VIP meet and greet being a picture with an AI. She played y'all and y'all just handed her money. I love Melanie Martinez so much, but I'm so disappointed that VIP was $400 and her set is only an hour. That price doesn't even include a meet and greet. Please say psych about the Melanie Martinez meet and greet. The wording of it made it sound like the photo experience would be with her, not a filter. And not only did people get to meet Melanie before COVID hit, but when COVID hit, she literally had virtual meetings with her fans who bought VIP tickets.
I'm sure it might be some last minute thing. I don't know for sure, obviously. It could have been like she was stressed, she didn't have enough time, so she quickly did this. I don't know for sure, but it likely had something to do with the schedule, which obviously I'm not defending this situation, but I'm saying that's probably the reasoning behind it. Because if she used to meet up with them, it must be something with time. The album, maybe they were running behind, something like that. Which overall is just really sad that she's kind of letting down her fans here, but there probably is like a reason behind it.
Another problem people who attended the show had was that it was just way too short. She only plays for 1 hour and then she leaves. And if anybody watching has ever been to any concert before, you know that they at least go for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
The comments under this video by Haley, which again, shout out to Haley for this amazingly put together video, well, they were very critical, and they had some reasoning behind this. They were saying that she was wearing a suit, which makes sense. It would make you a lot more hot and exhausted and a lot harder to perform, which, yes, I can see behind that. I can see that reasoning. So they were very critical of this video. They did not support a lot of the things Haley said, and that kind of makes sense because, yeah, if I was dancing around and singing in a suit for an hour, I would probably get hot and tired too. You can see some of the videos of her. She's obviously sweating a ton, and I'm not saying that to be a weirdo. Please don't come at me, but she's, like, very obviously tired and sweating, so the suit is probably very, very hot with all those bright lights, that probably heated up room because everyone's shouting. So I would say this isn't the biggest controversy she's had.
It's over, it's time to leave!
No, it hasn't. She hasn't played High School Sweethearts or Lunchbox Friends or Strawberry Shortcake. Her teachers better reset. Her Wheels on the Bus or Dollhouse or Soap or Carousel or Pity Party or Mad Hatter or Playdate. Melanie, come back!
This is why I sold my tickets. I'm not paying $700 for a 1 hour concert. Tickets are too expensive for just portals.
I do agree that that is very, very expensive, but at the end of the day, I mean, no one's forcing you to buy it. If you think it's too overpriced, I mean, sorry, I know she may be your favorite artist, but I mean, if she has to dance around in a suit maybe for an hour, maybe that's just not it. So I mean, I guess Taylor Swift too has been criticized, but Taylor Swift's concert I think was pretty long. Wasn't it like 3 hours long or something? So maybe at the end of the day, I'm sure it has something to do with the suit. Could she try to squeeze in a few more songs? Of course she could, but I mean, at the end of the day, we can't force her. Artists overcharge their tickets a lot of the time. It's just something we've kind of gotten used to. So, I mean, there's not much to do about it. And this kind of is like an under controversy. But her eggs and her like perfumes, those were a wee bit overpriced. Okay, her eggs were her perfumes. But those so overpriced that her own fans were like they were mad. They were mad about it. And I remember there's this whole situation on TikTok. And Haley even discussed it. And kind of going off of what I said in the last video, even her comment sections. And we all know Melanie's fan base. She has a huge fan base, and they strongly support her life or death. They will defend her to the very end. Even some of them were in her comments, and the comments were getting a lot of likes. They're the top comments, were criticizing her prices. They were saying things like, "We love you, Melanie, but this is too much." And I feel like fans always have a right to criticize the person, as long as it's not something on their looks or something like that. That's just like, leave them alone. Or on personal stuff, criticizing them on prices is totally fair. So, I mean, shout out to the fans that criticize their artists, because you always got to do that. You can't just like blindly follow every decision they make, if that makes sense. And let's add another one to the pile of controversies. Recently, Melanie has released some NFTs, and I know I look like an idiot, and I probably am an idiot. I don't know what the rules copyright-wise are on those, so I don't know if I can show them or not, but you can easily just look them up. And a lot of people did not like these NFTs. They found them weird and gross, and they don't like NFTs because they're bad for the environment, which obviously is a very valid argument. But yeah, a lot of people, and I saw some TikToks with a lot of likes hating on these and just saying they were straight up weird and not in a good way, because a lot of fans like Melanie because she's weird, because she's strange, because she stands out. She has different styles that no one else has. You know, that type of stuff. She can turn into a fairy, which she did recently, which was pretty unique, we gotta all admit. But a lot of her own fans did not like this. They thought it was weird in a bad way.
This is my honest review of the $275 Melanie Martinez perfume collection. Yes. This was $275.
Let's get back onto the whole perfume prices controversy. That was easily one of the most viral controversies of Melanie. I could not escape that for the longest time, so I felt like we should just sit down together and watch this video, because it's someone who bought it. So I mean, who could be better to review it than a fan, someone who paid all this money and will give an honest review, because this person already looks like they're uncomfortable with the product, that they're like, oh, this is a wee bit pricey, Melanie. Like, this has got to be one of her biggest fans, because who pays this much for a perfume?
Oh my god, Let me rip her out the plastic real quick. Here she is, you guys. It says Portals Parfums right there.
Okay, I can kind of relate to her when I was a kid, because when I was like a kid, I watched How to Train Your Dragon, and like there was a TV show, and I loved it so much. It was like the most magical thing ever. And there was this white dragon that flew around, and I remember I wanted it, but there was no like one for sale currently, so I looked it up on Amazon. There was like a restock of it, like an old model, and it cost $300, but I was gonna save up and buy it because I wanted that white dragon storm thing so badly, and man, am I glad I didn't buy that, because what was I thinking?
This is stunning. I will admit though, the plastic does make it look a little cheap. Like, it does kind of look like a toy.
I'm saying it right now, I'm not sorry. It probably cost under $20 to make the entire thing. Like, she's making bank off of this, off of her fans.
Melanie also said she's gonna be selling them separately, which should be way cheaper. So if you're someone who's interested in buying them separately, this video is for you, babe.
Yes, it was obviously cheaper, but I still remember people were complaining about it because obviously it was still very expensive to buy them individually. And a lot of people, I remember reviewing it, said that they didn't actually smell good at all anyway, so you're just being ripped off overall. But again, I don't have it, so I can't say for myself. Everyone smells stuff differently, so I just don't know how good they actually smell, but they better smell like heaven for this price.
Now let's smell this shit. First up, we have Air of Clarity. This one has notes of caramel, coconut, ambroxan, and tonka bean. I'm nervous. Okay.
Each spray she just sprayed was literally like $10. Literally every individual spray was just $10. So I hope she enjoyed spraying $50 right there.
This smells like a sexy woman sun tanning on the beach, surrounded by palm trees, but like on a magical planet. Oh my god, it's so good.
Well, I'm glad it's good because you lost quite a bit of money, so maybe you didn't lose it, I guess, if it's worth it. You won't be wearing it for long because those don't look very big, but I mean, I guess I'm glad she enjoys her product because you better savor each cent, each millicent of like the air that you get from those things, because each thing is like, every cent you pick up is worth like $5.
Will you tell your friends at school that it's fake?
It's fake.
Okay, tell them all. It's fake news, right?
Yeah.
Not true. You know me, I would never do that.
I felt like showing this clip again because, once again, I don't even know much about Leah Holton. I just know that she makes TikTok music, that some of it is kind of rough, the lyrics aren't great, but just the sheer desperation you can see in her face and her voice, because she has experienced so much harassment from Melanie's fans in the past few hours. TikToks with millions of likes trashing on her, edits, comments, DMs. The amount of hatred she got for simply saying something that someone commented is just bizarre. I think a problem that Melanie can't even control to an extent is her fan base. Her fan base just became like a mob of angry people that will attack anyone who they even suspect of treating Melanie wrong. Again, Leah has no relationships to Melanie. Melanie's never even had any problem with her. All she did was read a chat, and they clipped that and acted like she was attacking Melanie because, I mean, no one really cares to attack Melanie, so they desperately tried to find something to create drama, and I just, again, can't imagine the amount of harassment. If Brad got the amount of harassment he did, I can't imagine what someone who had edits with millions of likes trashing on them, I can't imagine the DMs she got, and I just feel really bad for her in this situation because she's just another victim of Melanie's fan base. And again, if you watch my last video, you'll understand my point here more. I'm not saying everyone's like this. I'm just saying her fan base has a huge reputation for literally harassing anyone who dares to criticize Melanie. Literally anyone. So it's just a reputation they have. And kind of going off of what I said in the last video, it could just be one toxic person out of 1,000 in Melanie's fan base. But that one person plays a major role in shaping their reputation because they're a loud minority. When they send something rude and beyond cruel to a person who criticized Melanie, that's how that person's going to think of her fan base. You represent her fan base. So kind of going off of what I said before, if you're a Melanie fan, do not harass people in my comments. Do not harass me. Do not harass anyone who criticizes her because you are making her fan base look worse than everyone already thinks they are. Everyone already thinks this whole thing about her fan base, that they're these horrible, horrible people because of possibly a few people.
Hello everyone, my name is Bradley. I have a Brad Taste in Music, and today we're going to be listening to the Melanie Martinez 2015 hit album, Crybaby. Now, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by the reception that the previous video had,
I remember that the amount of harassment Brad got for making these videos on Melanie was so strong that people suspect that Fantano steered away from like actually criticizing her album for real. Like in all the comments under his video where he rates Portals, all the comments are saying congrats Melanie's fan base for harassing him into not actually giving a legit review, which I don't know if that's true or not, but that was literally what all the comments were saying. So I'm not saying it's everyone who is fan of Melanie. What I'm saying is there's a few toxic people, possibly it could just be 1 out of 1,000, 10,000 that are part of Melanie's fan base. But man, they are loud. The ones that are, maybe it's a lot of them, but I'm guessing it's just a few because it doesn't take a lot to send the D threats to people. It doesn't take a lot to say the most awful things. It takes only a few. It was probably just a few, but they probably said some awful stuff and rightfully made Brad feel endangered, made him feel mad. And that is just really disturbing. And it sucks to have a few people kind of ruin this fandom for everyone. If the allegations and stuff are all false, like you're ruining the fandom's reputation for everyone. So congrats. I guess sending D threats to people isn't going to make anyone look good. The only thing it's going to do is harm the reputation of your fan base. I remember once I came across a video of someone rating the Portals album, and they were obviously a fan, and they rated all the songs like 10 out of 10. There were 1 or 2 that they rated 8, 9.5 out of 10, something still really generous and overall sweet. All of the comments were Melanie fans, obviously, too, because that's a community that they're a part of, and they were all commenting, but Leech's is 10 out of 10, but this is 10 out of 10. Why didn't you rate those 10 out of 10? And it's like, you don't have to say everything Melanie creates is 100% perfect. Like, you're allowed to rate it whatever you want. And it's just, like, it's the mindset that, like, she cannot be criticized, that their fandom has it. I don't know why it's like that. It's if someone criticizes Melanie, they're not saying she deserves to fall off a cliff. What they're saying is, like, she can improve this way, and she is capable of improving in that way. I just don't see why we're sending D-threats to people for literally criticizing her music and giving their opinion on her music. Me, personally, I'm going to give a quick criticism and put probably my life at risk. I don't like her music personally, mainly because I believe that the meanings are too blatantly obvious. I like music better when they kind of push it in a way. This is just me, my opinion. If you like it, I literally could care less. Like, it's just me giving my opinion. If you don't like it, that's not the end of the world. Remember, we are allowed to criticize people and like who we like. I don't like it mainly because I just like music that there's more of like it's harder to find the meaning. It's so like blatantly obvious what the theme is, that just kind of like hurts my brain in a way. But that's just me for the 100th time. Please don't put me in one of those hate edits like you do with everyone who criticizes your music, Melanie fan base. I'm literally just making a criticism. No matter how much you like your favorite artist, they're not perfect. No artist is perfect, and being so threatening to anyone who criticizes your artist or doesn't like your artist is just like, it's disgusting and weird, and I'm just so tired of seeing this everywhere with this fan base. So if you're part of it, please give them a good reputation. Please help their reputation by being sweet and kind instead of sending D-threats to people. That's what's supposed to happen. You're never perfect. You're always able to improve, and even if you don't like my opinion on your music, then cool. We're literally built as humans to have different opinions. We're not all supposed to like the same thing. Like, that's cool. And if you're going to comment, why don't you make music? That's not my thing. I'm allowed to like the music I want, and I'm allowed to like it for the reasons I like it. Like, that's the purpose of music. You're supposed to like what you like. For the 10th time, so this doesn't get taken out of context, I'm not saying everyone in her fandom is toxic. What I'm saying is there's a possibility only a few are, and they're just ruining it for everyone, if that makes sense. I know I'm going to sound like one of those corny, like out-of-touch, dumb principal teachers, but when you click and send those messages, those D-threats to people, it may just seem like, ha ha ha, got him. But that can really impact someone's life. And it's just like, you're defending someone you don't even know, and they don't even know who you are. Remember, tomorrow you could die and they wouldn't know or care because, once again, they don't know who you are. Just remember that your parasocial relationship isn't worth putting someone else's like mental health at risk for probably months. These threats and things that these fans can send to people are just beyond disgusting. Remember that these are human beings, and all they did was criticize your artist and give your opinion on your artist. And telling someone to end their you-know-what is also just beyond disgusting, because I know I'm going to sound cliche again, and I know I'm going to sound disingenuous, but you don't know what someone else is going through, and it's just not like okay. And it is so easy, and I know coming from me is literally the most hypocritical thing you'll ever hear, but it's so easy to type something behind a screen and type the most evil, vile, disgusting thing to someone, tell them to end you-know-what, their own you-know-what, and YouTube is really strict with me, but it's just like, you wouldn't say that in real life to them. So, and I know I wouldn't say the things I've said to real life to people, but like, just, it's a different level to tell someone to end their or threaten their you-know-what. That's just completely different than criticizing someone on a commentary channel. Like, is this really that controversial of a take? It should not be that controversial to say, don't send people these type of threats. Because, no, it's not just BradTasteinMusic. It definitely, I am sure Leah Kate got a ton of comments telling her to end her, you know what, I'm sure. There's no way I could get in contact with her. But if I were, I'm sure 100% that they said that. Because the amount of videos I saw on her with tons and tons of views, like, there's literally no way. And there's so many other people. Timothy is another example. There are so many different people that have received these threats from her fandom. It's not just one person. It is quite literally a lot of people that criticize her. And this isn't just a problem with Melanie's fandom. This is with a lot of other fandoms. I couldn't name them all. There's a lot of toxic fandoms out there. A lot of fandoms that have people on there that will just ruthlessly defend their queen with their life. Like, they will defend it to their very death. It's just like, remember to be respectful when you're online. Remember that. Remember it's not always worth it for your queen. And this kind of connects back to Timothy because once again, the things kind of going off of what I said on my last video, I still stand by that. Even if you don't believe her and you trust Melanie and you trust what Melanie says and you will defend Melanie with your life, it is not okay to harass and dox Timothy like she was. Leak all of her private information. Leak her family's information. That just simply is not okay. Like, sometimes people take their parasocial relationships way, way, way too far. I don't care how strongly you believe either side. It's not okay to leak either side's information. That just is not okay because it's not your situation. It's not your personal information, and you just should stay away from that. It's not that hard. You're allowed to criticize her, but you aren't allowed to leak that type of stuff. And even though I'm not a personal fan, my advice for you, if you're part of any type of toxic fandom, help restore that reputation. Help make it better. Be super respectful when you are arguing with someone. Be kind and polite and just don't be a complete jerk. It's not that hard. Don't be a complete jerk and you will help make your reputation look better. And of course, once again, Melanie is not the only one to have one of these type of fandoms. There's so many different ones. Just remember, be respectful because you could lead to your own fandom's downfall, your own fandom's reputation at stake. Like, all it takes is one D threat, and someone could make an entire video discussing it because that is something very, very serious that needs to be discussed. You just don't want to put your fandom's reputation at risk like that. So just remember to respect everyone. And once again, I know I sound cliche, but just remember it's not that hard. Be respectful, please, because people's lives matter. Not everyone is like living in a computer online. Like, these are real messages people read, and they hurt. If a stupid comment saying that my commentary channel is the worst of all time hurt me a little tiny bit, I'll admit it. I can't imagine what all the comments Timothy received would affect me, or Brad. I can't imagine that. Like, I can't imagine it. And the fact that they sent it to his fiance as well, like, they couldn't just send it to him. They had to attack his soon-to-be wife. Are you kidding me? So just remember that these are real people at the end of the day. You don't know the artist. It is okay to argue, but just remember to remain respectful and not threaten people, like, to the extent that Brad was threatened. I know I'm going to get comments saying this was a while ago, but of course, like, sure, it was a while ago, but the fandom hasn't changed much. They've done this to multiple people now. And just remember, if you're part of the fandom, help restore your fandom's reputation. Be polite, be kind in any type of fandom. Because, once again, this isn't just a one-person problem. This is a problem with a lot of fandoms. And it could just be one person that ruins their entire fandom's reputation. So, I kind of went over the allegations, all the drama, all the situations. And I hope you can give your thoughts in the comments. Please remain respectful, and with that, the video concludes. I yapped for 38 minutes. If you made it till here, like, I have so much respect for you, you don't even know. Thank you so much. Please leave a like so I don't look like an embarrassment who gets no likes, and I'll see you in the next one.